to Maryland's 8th Congressional District. Hello, all my wonderful constituents. We're back with my favorite time of the week. It's time for Local Hero. We've got a magnificent local hero for you this week. His name is Frank Gilliard, and Frank is the Customer Relations Coordinator for the U.S. Post Office in our area. Now, Frank, you say it's Silver Spring, but when I actually look at your jurisdiction, it goes beyond Silver Spring, right?
That's correct.
It includes Aspen Hill, Tacoma Park, Colesville, and Wheaton.
Wheaton, Woodmore, Silver Spring, Maine.
All right. We had to make you our local hero because you are like the key problem solver for us whenever anybody has an issue with the Postal Service. Tell us the kinds of issues you deal with most, and maybe I'll throw a few in that we've seen in our office.
Well, it could be any issues from a package not arriving at its destination, or a package that has a scan on it saying that it was delivered and the customer didn't receive it. Could be anything from a certified letter that the customer is looking for, or pre-shipment information sent to the customer and they're thinking this within the Postal Service and it hasn't even gotten in the system yet.
Okay, so some people have a problem, which is they're trying to locate a missing package, or there's a letter that they can't find. Other people have more more chronic problems or continuing problems. Like I know a lot of senior citizens have a problem like traveling to go get mail, or they don't want to get it here, they want to get it there.
That's correct.
I just got to say, I got to thank you because you work very closely with Krista Burton, who's on my district office staff, and she just raves about you and says you are like the key problem solver of all time. And, people would be amazed how important this is to people to make sure that their relationship with the post office is right,
Correct. And that's my goal.
Yeah. And in general, people love the post office. I mean, I think it's still the most trusted institution in America, and neither rain nor sleet nor snow. People know it's regular, especially during the pandemic. People have been depending on it. But if something goes wrong, then people can get very panicky. And you really have become such a great problem solver. Tell us a bit about your career, because I know you've been at the post office for decades. I think you were a letter carrier, weren't you?
Yes, I was a letter carrier for 23 years. I carried mail, and I actually switched over and moved up into management to try to take some of my experiences to make the job a little bit more better and easier for everybody else.
Okay, and were you a carrier in Silver Spring?
Yes, I was. I carried mail in 20910 Silver Spring, Maine, which is downtown Silver Spring. Yes,
indeed, 20910. And during this time, you've been serving in another way too. You've been in the Air Force Reserve, right?
That's correct. I was a C-141B loadmaster for about 22 years. In my remaining 3 years, 7 years, I actually became a boom operator, flying the boom refueling airplanes in the sky.
Well, look, thank you for your extraordinary service in so many different ways. Let's talk about COVID-19, okay? Because I know it has imposed a whole new level of duties and obligations on you. Let's start with the post office itself. What kind of changes have had to be made architecturally in terms of people coming into the post office?
Well, starting on the retail side of the house, we had to install what you see in all businesses now, which they call a plexiglass shield. And it gives the customer enough room. It protects the customer and it protects the postal employee from any vapors coming from one another's breath going back and forth.
Okay. And then what about social distancing and masking and all that stuff?
Well, we actually have masks, social distancing, just like any other operation or any other big business. That goes for the letter carriers, for the clerks, for management staff. It's for everybody. Everybody has protective gear.
And did that come down from the national, that everybody's got to enforce social distancing and masks in the workplace? That's good to know.
That's correct.
That's good. So the post office has been very proactive on that then.
That's correct. We have social distances within all of the office where it's actually masked off. Everybody know where's to stand, and when the next person goes up to the clerk station.
All right. So what happens if somebody shows up at the post office and they're coming in to, to mail a package, or they're buying stamps and they're not wearing a mask?
We would advise them that it's a requirement for them to have a mask on, and if they can't have the mask on, we would ask them to just leave, or if we have a mask, we'll provide it for them.
And people have generally been pretty cooperative with that?
Yes, they have.
Yeah.
More than cooperative.
All right. So, and what about the letter carriers, out on the road and the street? I mean, how have their jobs been affected by the crisis?
Their job has been impacted too, based upon the social distancing, as far as actually customers signing for their accountable items. They still have to wear their masks when they're dealing with the public, and they have gloves when they're actually delivering the mail.
Yeah. And, I've had some long days down here in the Capitol, and if it's a 10 or 12-hour day, it's very hard to keep a mask on straight through the day. I know a lot of medical personnel have talked about that. It just gets very hot and stuffy. And so are they able to take a break? I mean, can they go into the truck, or can they just take it off and take a walk or something? Or
I mean, most of the carriers are just like I do on a normal daily basis. If I'm not having any direct interaction with anyone, I'll just put my mask down below my chin, and then we go back to deal with people or with the customers. We put our mask back up.
The post office generally has taken a huge hit during COVID-19 financially, and we're working in the HEROES Act to try to get more money into the post office. Can you explain why there's been this financial impact on the post office?
Well, the financial impact comes in several ways. We have e-commerce now, which means your letter volume is down. People use more email boxes as far as people are shipping items. Our money is actually in mailing letters, and the volume is just not there like it used to be 25 years ago. Yeah.
So, and what would you like people to know about the best way to engage in problem solving with their mail, their letter carrier, the post office? How do you recommend people go about it?
If there's any real serious issue, normally you can have a conversation with the carrier if it's something he can resolve as far as delivery issues. But if there's something more that requires a little bit more investigation, that's where I would come in and do everything I possibly can to get the issue resolved.
That's great. And people can always reach you through my office, in the sense that we'll call you. Krista Burton will get in touch if we need your help on something. But is there another way people can get in touch with you directly if they need it?
Yes, normally you can go on an email, frank.gilliard@usps.gov, and that's my email address. And the office number 301-572-4771 or 8076. And I could actually, I will get a message if I'm not in the office.
Great. And the email, once again, is frank.gilliard@usps.gov. And Gilliard is Gilliard.
That's correct.
frank.gilliard@usps.gov. Well, look, you are a lifesaver for us, and thank you for your work in the Air Force. Thank you for your work in the post office and keeping the mail flowing in Silver Spring and Wheaton and Aspen Hill, Tacoma Park, Colesville. It really means a lot to us that you are there, and you're such a great problem solver. So for all of that, you are a local hero this week in June, and please stay healthy and stay in touch with us.
Likewise.